Hello everyone, it's SystemCollapse and this is StoneBlock. Everyone's had a task today. I'm having an utterly amazing one myself. And in between episodes, I haven't done a ton. Have not done a ton. I did do some crafting, and I set up a few more crafting recipes here, all for extreme reactors. We're going to be getting into turbines today because, well, we ran that poll, and it was quite clear that people want to see the turbines. So, yeah, definitely something we're going to get into. The one thing I did kind of do was over here. Well, I did a bunch of crafting. You can see here. We still need a lot of materials, mostly these turbine housings. But I did dig out areas here to stick the actual turbine. So there's going to be 4 of them. They're all going to come off the side of the main reactor. The point of this reactor, though, is going to change. So it's not going to be producing power anymore. We're actually going to convert it over from right now it's considered, what, a passively cooled reactor? We're going to switch it over to an actively cooled, which means basically it's going to start taking water, producing steam instead of power, and that steam's going to, make the turbines spin and then produce their power. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Going to be pretty amazing, actually, and we're going to get to it here. I think I actually have everything. Maybe show off a little of the recipes here. You need a lot of these turbine housings, but it's mostly just graphite. So, again, just coal, some iron. Then you need some of these turbine housing cores, which isn't a big deal. Some comparators, not a big deal. You also need a bunch of rotors. I'll need a lot more than this. I just have a kind of starter here because I wanted to make the recipe, make sure it was working. But you need cyanide. The main issue for me doing this was the actual cyanide. But they have this recipe with refined iron in the sand. We're already getting the refined iron from chickens, so I can just do this. And I have, well, infinite sand. I mean, we have a StoneBlock. StoneBlock? No, Stonework Factory, kind of dedicated to that. Then you take that stuff. It's used for some of the crafting recipes. But it's also used to make, where's the plutonium recipe? Right here. This is plutonium, which is then used to make this stuff here, ludicrite. I didn't even use that recipe. I used this one here. Oddly enough, the one with Enderium and the blaze rods is more expensive to me right now than Nether Stars, Ender Pearl, and Emeralds. This took over 4,000 sand alone, actually, this recipe, because I need 128 of those. And do I have those in the system? I better, because, yeah. Yeah, I already have them done. Good. It took a ton of materials, though. And, yeah, we're definitely going to need those as well. And we might as well just kind of go ahead and do this. You also need the Turbine Controller. So that's not a big deal. You'll need some reactor coolant ports. That is for this reactor here. And that's going to be when we kind of switch it over. And then you'll need these turbine rotor bearings, which is another thing. Some of those rotor shafts. Whole lot of materials. You kind of see how it's all going to come together here. We also have some turbine glass. Because I like seeing these things work because they look pretty cool. And they actually don't cause much lag, which is pretty amazing when you kind of see them go here. Might as well get one going. Probably going to need 2 kind of ready to go off the hop before I do anything. Because the second I convert this into a actively cooled reactor, we're going to stop producing power. So I need to be able to turn on 2 of these turbines almost immediately. Kind of generating power, otherwise we could run into a situation. This shouldn't be too bad here. We might be able to just do this, right? Just kind of wand that across. So the size of this, I didn't really explain that. It's 7 tall, 16 wide, then yeah, 7 deep. So 7 by 7 by 16. That is the size we're going with. This thing is automatically repairing. This is twitching out like a madman. But that is the size it is. We're going to have to do these outside walls as well. We'll get them done really quick. Then we're going to have to kind of change a couple parts here and then kind of show you how it's going. So up here in the center, so it'll be right here. This is actually going to be a bearing. So we're going to grab one of these bearings here. Just pop that in the wall. Then over here, we're going to have to start tweaking out this reactor. And you can see here the reactor casings on the other side of this wall. How do I want to do this? This is going to be stuff here, right? This is going to be reactor glass for the most part. Let's get the controller stuff into place so I know where I'm working at. The controller is right here. Oh, I didn't make the redstone ports. We're going to have to go grab those. Otherwise, we can't pull power out of these. Can I do that from here? Let's go to add extreme turbine. And is it this one? No, it is this one here. We need turbine redstone flux power. And we will need 4 of those, right? So let's go. Guess 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's not the right number. 1, 2, 3. Get that there. And that's just going to be what we kind of stick our taps to and then kind of pull the power out of the machine. So not a big deal there, but definitely something we need. And that's good. Just so I can kind of judge things where we are inside this reactor. So the reactor should be kind of 5 inside. Doesn't really matter where I put this next part, but these are going to be the reactor coolant ports. And we're going to kind of break the reactor really quick. Hopefully pop that in there. I should have done that quicker, but that's fine. Take a little damage here. I need to get that in the right spot so I can swap those out a little quicker. Maybe like that. And here. Oh, there's an empty space over there, so it doesn't matter. So you got these coolant ports. One is going to be for importing fluid, and one's going to be for exporting. So we're going to take the extreme wrench, that is that right there, and then kind of tweak one, right? So we kind of change the settings. What we need to do now is grab two of the turbine ones. We need one set to red, so that one's red right there. We need this one switched over to blue so it matches. So one is input, one is output, and that's kind of how it's going to work. So the way this is, it kind of is a closed loop. So once we get the water in the system, the reactor itself, so this here is actually going to produce the steam. It's going to pump the steam into the turbine. The turbine's going to use the steam, turn it back to water, then pump it back in here. And we do that all directly without any piping by direct connecting them with these ports. So that is what's kind of going on there. So I just didn't want to lose people without explaining things. Let's go ahead and grab some shafts here, kind of get them going. How do I want to do this actually? Let's bring the shafts across first, then we'll kind of do the rest. Do that. You can build these reactors standing up or on their sides too. So two of them are going to be standing up, then two of them are going to be kind of going like this. That should be good there. We should be able to go ahead and grab some of our ludicrite now. So let's do that. The ludicrite creates what is called the coil. The coil is what kind of generates the power, right? So I just happen to know what works really well. So what I'm going to do is use 32 blocks of ludicrite per turbine. Keep wanting to say reactor. And I know that's going to be kind of the, you know, it's near perfect. It's near perfect. You make it a little better. But I'm not going to bother min-maxing. You'll see that it is pretty close once we get this going to being, you know, just exactly how it should be. But anyway, let's go there. Do that. Let's go right there. Oh, these are shafts, man. We don't want shafts now. We actually need the rotor blades. We'll kind of swap that out. There's our, that's shaft. We need these things. So let's go ahead and grab them. One there, one there. We want two of these on every side. We're going to have, I believe, 80 of these in the reactor. Not reactor, the turbine. So each one of them. So we're going to end up needing 320 of these puppies. Thankfully, we can wand them. But anyway, let's go ahead and craft some more. Let's go to rotor. We're going to need the blades. Let's do another 64 for right now. Just so we can finish this one off. And yeah, we should be able to start wanding those all the way down here. All the way across until we get to the end. Oh, we'll probably need some more of them. Is that shaft? Let's grab some blades. Maybe? Oh, I'm just out of range in that corner. That's unfortunate, but not a big deal. I could just throw a wireless transmitter right on that, I guess. But it doesn't really matter too much, I suppose. I mean, it's just a rare little corner that we won't be spending much time in. Anyway, let's go ahead and grab you. Want that off and want that off. So, that is kind of set up there. That is almost ready. This one is probably already, yeah, you can see there, I totally forgot that this is going to be already switched over once we put in that reactor port. So we might as well do this part of it as well. We need to grab another kind of coolant port here. We need to break one of these blocks really quick. Hopefully get you in there. And then we need to pump some water in here. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to go bam. Then I'm going to grab hopefully a piece of conduit, which I don't happen to have. Here, oh yes I do, I have interconduit right there, and we're just going to fill this puppy up and then kind of forget about it. So we're going to go to that, set it to extract. This thing should start getting steam, so it's actually already on. It's already creating steam. That's because the thing already had heat. I can turn it on now. It'll kind of make it a little quicker, but it's already doing what it needs to. It's creating steam. It's got 50,000 buckets there. I don't want it to get completely full. That should be good there. That should be all the steam we need to run all four of these reactors. We need about 2,000 per reactor. It's only going to say it's producing 2,000 right now. But as we add more turbines, it's going to say we can make more and more and more. Just kind of the way it works. I don't know why it does that. It's hard to tell exactly how much your reactor can produce in steam. It's not very clear about it. But at the same time, I know this one is big enough to probably power about 8 of them. So yeah, that's definitely a thing. I do need some more of this though. Let's grab this reactor glass. Start getting this in place, because this thing should be ready to multi-block actually. and almost be ready to turn on. And since I goofed my power, I might as well go ahead and get this one turned on, right? And just get it done. So let's do that. Go up here, here, and here. You can see there at multi-block, it's good to go. You can actually see it's getting full of steam, so it looks a little hazy in there. But we can actually go over to this thing now. Tell it to turn on, so we'll just activate it. You notice that this RPM is going to start kicking up, and then as the RPM kicks up, there's going to be more and more RF produced. This thing actually takes a long time to kind of kick up to the max speed, and it's a little funky how it works. So it has the max amount of blades. That's what we wanted. We have 80. The rotor speed, you can say there, says rotor performs best at 900 or 1800 RPM. When it's kind of in that range of 900 and 1800 or close to it, it gets a bonus to how much power it produces. We're actually going to be going for the 1800 RPM, and based on the amount of ludicrite and fans we have in there, I'm pretty sure we're going to get about to 1750, and we should get a really good, efficient kind of turbine here, and that's what I'm going for. And yeah, it's going to use, like I said, 2000 steam per tick, but it's going to have no problem getting that because it's direct connected. If you use piping, this can be a hassle. If you don't use piping and just direct connect it to the actively cooled reactor, then it's not an issue at all. You can see it's already up to 2000. It's going to take a while it's going. You might as well go ahead and build another one of these. Get this done as quickly as possible. I believe with 2 of these, running at the kind of the peak, it's going to outperform what we had, but we're going for 4. So I believe we're going to end up doubling, if not more, right? So it's going to be pretty sweet. It's going to be not really a lot more cost in fuel, which is kind of the goal there. So we're using about 0.5 yesterday. I'd be surprised if we're using 1 millibucket when this is done. So double, and it's probably going to be even less than that, to be honest. We ran out of that stuff. We need more casing. That's housing, isn't it? Always want to call it casing. Let's go here. Pull you out, pull you out. We might as well go ahead and make a ton of this. Let's make another like 500. Get that going. Sweet. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to get it started. Is it going? Can't tell, man. I feel like it's not working. Let's go check it real quick. I need to make sure it's actually producing. Okay, is this going through all the coal first? Is it going to do all the coal first? Oh, it's got a ton of stuff to do. So it's doing multiple things at the same time. And yeah, then I'll kind of get to it. It'll start coming in a couple seconds. Not that big a deal. Watch this a little more. As this thing kind of ramps up too, it's going to start getting these particles down here. And the rotors actually start moving quicker and quicker, which is pretty amazing in itself. It's already gone from 2 to 7. It's up to 650 RPM. It's going to hit that 900 mark, which is kind of the first barrier. And then we're going to go way past that, kind of get up to the 1800. And by that time, I think this is going to produce close to 30,000. So somewhere in between 25 to 30,000 per one of these turbines, which is kind of what I'm aiming for. And shouldn't be too hard to hit. So anyway, let's go ahead, check our housing here. See if we got some. Oh, we got a bunch. Let's do that. Let's finish off this one, I suppose. Sweet. And then this shouldn't take too long now that we kind of know what we're doing. I am going to have to break that reactor a few times every time I get one of these kind of set up. But all I have to do is kind of hit the button and it'll start producing steam again. As long as I don't leave it off too long, the steam won't really kind of run down. That's my only really issue with that, right? Anyway, let's do that. Let's get another bearing. Sweet. There we need our shaft. I think each one took 14 shafts. I think I ended up making too many. Not too big a deal. Probably do these first 2 with you, then kind of move forward. And maybe do the other 2 by myself, and do it that way. I figure if I build 2 of these, you'll get a complete idea exactly how they're built and how I'm doing them. And that won't really be a question, I guess. Do that. Sweet, sweet, and sweet. That should handle that there. Probably need some more rotor blades. Definitely, actually. We need 80 per, so let's go to rotor. Let's grab rotor blades. Let's grab another stack of them. They don't actually take very long to craft. Anything else we need there? More of that glass as well. So we'll need turbine glass. And this thing's, you can see why I'm just kind of crafting it as we go. Because I really don't want to waste an immense amount of resources. But at the same time, it's not really that big a deal, I suppose. But I'm trying to be, semi. Non-wasteful. We'll use the word non-wasteful as opposed to efficient. Because I'm definitely not going with efficient. with the way I'm doing things. Let's grab our turbine controllers and that as well. That here. All this setup is really efficient, so you can argue that I am. Anyway, let's go here. Let's grab, we don't need rotor shafts, we need blades. Let's do that. See if our blades are done. They actually should be. So grab you. And we need to get 8 of these on this puppy here. Wand it up again, get on glass, and this one should already be ready to go. So you can see how easy these ones are to build. It's just, you need more of them, basically. It takes a lot of materials, but it's going to end up using a lot less fuel. Like, that is kind of the main kind of selling point of these things. A lot of people don't use them. They just use the reactors and throw tons of uranium at them. And yeah, then they yell at me for not being efficient. Usually the same people, not gonna lie. But anyway, let's do this. Let's do that over there. And go that way there. Sweet. I think that's pretty much everything we need. Yes, that's there. That's there. Oh, I didn't put the fluid ports in. That's gonna be problematic. Not really, but we'll break this for a second. I'm going to have to break a hole here, break a hole here. It doesn't really matter. I could put them here too, I suppose, but we need to get these reactor fluid ports in. So we'll kind of do that quickly. Let's get them side by side again. Sweet and sweet. That one doesn't even matter. I need that though. Let's grab you. This one's going to have fluid behind it, so let's do it quick. And we'll turn one of them red with the wrench again. So we're going to go red. Then we're going to take a red one, pop it on. Take a red one and turn it blue. So they're matching colors. That's exactly what you want. Okay, I thought I was missing something there. That should be good there. And I guess all we need to do is finish off the glass. So yeah, this should be good. That, and that. Probably turn this on again. Let's go active. And maybe one more wand. Are we out of glass? That's good. It's not good at all. Reactor. No, turbine. Glass. Let's make another stack of that because we're definitely gonna need it. There we go. And yeah, just kind of push these out. You know what I mean? Just hammer them out. But once I have 2 of these going, we should be good to kind of get power. I'm gonna tap them. Probably be the play out here. Let's see what this one's producing real quick. This one is up to 10.7, but it's at that weird buffer. So I was talking about the rotor speed. So it hit 900. It kind of hit that one good happy spot, but that's more for a smaller turbine. But in that time where it's moving between 900 and 1800, the power doesn't really go up that much because it's not getting its bonuses, although it's using more fuel. You have to get in the happy zone. You really need to get in between 900 and 1800 for these things to be truly efficient. And we still have 500 RPM before it's going to get there, so it won't take too long, but it's going to get there. This one here, what do I need? Oh, is this working? There, steam. Wait a second. Why? We got a problem here. Actually, are we? Do we have a problem? Yeah, that didn't multi-block. Error is not. Oh, there we go. Me totally confused here. There we go. That didn't multi-block. It's multi-block now. You really need to look at the outer frame, make sure everything's working. This one now, before it was saying 2,000 millibuckets was being produced. It still only says 2,000. Let's turn it on to see what happens there. So if we go to there now, is that going to ramp up? Yes, it doubled it. So like I said, it's hard to tell what your passive, your actively cooled reactor actually produces in steam. It's really, I don't know how to measure it. There may be a spreadsheet or something somewhere, but I don't know how it works. It's just always, you just keep adding turbines until you don't have enough steam. Because there's no way to really calculate exactly how much you're producing. I just know in Sky Factory 3, I did kind of a setup sort of like this, except it was way smaller. Like this was way smaller, and I was able to power 4 of them full. So anyway, this one's going to take a while to ramp up as well, but we're going to go ahead and grab some plugs now so we have some power. Probably grab 2 of them. Do that. And then, yeah, we can start getting power to this thing. And in a while, these are going to ramp up and just be immense amount of power. Not immense, but immense compared to what we had, I guess, 2 days ago, right? So let's do that. Pop that there. Pop that there. So that's pulling in 12,000 so far. It's only up to 12. It's still working towards that happy point. And yeah, these are going to ramp up. So what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and build 2 more turbines. I'm just going to kind of hammer them out and let these ones ramp up to full speed while I'm doing it. And yeah, then we'll come back, see how it's producing, and then maybe move forward from there. And there we go. I went ahead and completed the other 2 turbines. So we got one down here now. Have another one up there. You can see they're pointing in opposite directions too. This thing doesn't really care how you set it up, as long as you have the blocks where they need to be. They're producing a good amount of power too, and it's very efficient, I have to say. This thing is producing 28,000 RF per turbine, so yeah, not too bad at all. Before we were producing 45,000, now we're producing 112,000. Before we were using 0.5 millibuckets a tick, now we're only using about 40% more fuel than we were before, so about 0.72ish, so a little over 40%, but 2.5 times the power. So yeah, really, really efficient reactor. You can see there we're producing a really good amount of steam as well. So that's exactly what you need, is it to be at 8,000 millibuckets to kind of cover 4 of these turbines. And you'll notice here too that the RPM is almost at the perfect number. So 1800 would be perfect. If we were at 1800, we'd probably get about 400 more RF or something like that. But with this kind of ludicrous setup, with the way I did it and the exact number of fans, you don't really have to worry about it. I mean, it's close enough. You're losing a tiny bit of RF, but you don't even have to think about it. It's kind of this fire and forget, and don't worry about it, where you can kind of put in like iron and gold and etherium, just to kind of tweak out that last little bit of, perfection, trying to get the turbine exactly at the right RPM where you want. I don't care. That's basically what I'm trying to say. I think it's close enough, and I'm not going to totally min-max it. So I think it works really well, and I'm happy I got to do it. I'm glad you guys voted yes on the poll, because it was fun to do, and I'm glad to be able to show it, because it's really not hard to do. I just think there isn't a lot of information out on this thing, to be honest. But anyway, pretty cool, pretty awesome, and pretty done. I think we're actually going to move forward and get into power storage. I did set up a block here while I was waiting for those things to kind of ramp up. I want to set up the Draconic energy storage. I think we can do that no problem now. I had like 1,000 draconium in our mob farm, and from our loot bags, I should say. Plus we have the essence. I went ahead and did the recipes as well to kind of make that stuff. So I have it set up so we do the blocks and the ingots. What we have to do though is make, let's get to draconium, or Draconic, I mean. Make the tablet. This is actually a quest, so let's go ahead. Oh, I don't have any stone right now. I need to set up auto stone. I need to set up another, whatchamacallit. Or I could just do this. What did I just tell it to make? What am I doing, man? This is the second time in the last 2 videos where I've gone to just craft something en masse and totally dirt. There we go. Wow. Last time was casings, this time was stone. I'm making redstone torches. At least I'll go through every redstone torch. Anyway, let's go back in here. Go to Draconic. Let's kind of get into this. The power storage is pretty awesome. It can be massive. We're not going to go with the giant one at first. But we are going to probably get a good one here. But there's our quest. Let's go ahead. Kind of take a look at that. Go right there. Sweet. Grab our quest. And we got punchy sticks. So that's no good there. Let's drop that off. We're going to open up the book, though. You can go to different kind of things here. You can look at the armor. I mean, there's a mob grinder, whole mob souls kind of thing. But the only thing we're worried about right now, I think, is here. The energy storage core. So you can see this. This thing looks awesome. There's different tiers. We're probably not going to get to a very high tier right now. I just want to kind of get set up with it. Isn't there a way to see how much is stored in here? Let's go back. Go there. Then you go into, where was it? Draconium. I wanted energy storage, not mods, man. Oh yeah, right there. There we go. Which one would we like to make? Probably a tier 4 or tier 5. Tier 4 is probably good enough. So that is kind of my goal there. That's almost 10 billion RF that we could store. And all we would need to do, where is it? Right here. For tier 4, we need 1 energy core, 4 energy core stabilizers, 54 draconium blocks, and 26 redstone. So let's kind of grab that stuff. Kind of do it that way. Let's go to redstone. Grab that. Grab probably 26. Sweet. And it was 56 draconium blocks, I think it said. Kind of do that. There we go. Get them done. They should take but a second. Then the core and stabilizer shouldn't be that bad at all either. I mean, draconium's really not a problem anymore, to be honest. But anyway, let's go to Draconic and see what we need here. So the core, this one here, we need the energy pylon. That's one of the main ones. Forgot we needed these as well. So let's go ahead and make one of them. Well, actually 2. These are used to put power in and out of this thing. And I think we also need some glass, right? It's a little multi-block. This whole thing's kind of a multi-block, but we'll grab them. Because otherwise we cannot put power in and out of this thing. We wanted the energy core. Right here. So we're going to need one of these as well. So probably have to make a couple more Draconic cores. That's probably a quest as well, actually. And that's probably a quest. So let's grab them. Sweet. Let's kind of see what we got going there. Might as well grab you. And grab you. See what we got. See if we get anything good. More solar stuff. And 64 MK storage component. The solar stuff we'll probably do at some point. Just not quite yet. Anyway, let's kind of see if we can get this now. There we go. Awesome. Wait a second. Did I have Wyvern cores? Maybe I made Wyvern cores? Or did I get those as loot? Or, oh, I must have got those as a loot chest reward or something. Anyway, doesn't even matter. I obviously already had them. And what else do we need here? So we already have our energy core. That was a quest, right? So let's grab that. So that's cool. Let's kind of get that one done. Sweet. And then we just need the stabilizers, right? So let's go ahead and grab that, pop that in there. What was stabilizers? Stabilizers? I'm not going to spell it right. Let's go back to Draconic. I know what they look like, right? They are... Where are they? They're right here looking at me in the face. That's crafting. Energy core stabilizer. So it's a 2-stage crafting. Okay, let's go ahead. Actually, probably make 2 more of them. Cool. And then grab the stabilizer. Sweet. Do that. Get 4. And then finally. We did it, man. Almost anyway. Sweet. That should be everything we need actually to set this up. So let's actually drop that off. Let's go ahead and grab the energy core and the stabilizers first. We're going to take that and pop that. Oh, I did this wrong. It actually needs to sit on the block. I need to kind of do this. Let's kind of do you for a second. Gonna pop you right here. And pop you right here. Once you have this thing down, you can right click on it and kind of access all the different kind of settings in here. We want to make the tier 4, so we're going to set it to the tier 4. Then tell it to put the build guide on. And it's going to kind of show us in the world exactly where we need to put blocks, which makes our life a lot easier. So let's get that done. Go around. So it's kind of a 3x3 around this thing, which is pretty simple. Sweet. When you're dealing with the biggest one, this build guide actually gets really confusing when you're doing the tier 8. Also, the tier 8 has such, I can't even remember how big it is, but it's so big that it would take you months and months of immense amounts of power to even like partly fill it. It's just silly power storage. I've only ever heard of one person ever filling it. It was over, yeah, several months of time. And, yeah, pretty crazy if you really went to that kind of effort. But, not something I'm probably going to do. I mean, I've been in packs where I've had a billion RF, and this thing has barely budged. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4%. Pretty crazy all around. But anyway, let's do that. Get that up here. This one's not going to be too bad. We'll fill this one pretty quick. This one is just about 10 billion. But, that's a really good starting buffer. Be pretty sweet all around. Anyway, that's that. Did I make too many blocks? I must have. The cores, so the stabilizers, we should just have to kind of put them around the sides. Kind of like this, there, and that. I think you can also put them on top and the bottom. It really depends on how you want to do it. Right click it, and if you did everything right, it'll say the valid. And then stabilizer is valid, and you just activate it. And you get this cool little floaty ball in the world, which is pretty awesome. It does look pretty sweet, and I really like it. Anyway, let's do that. Let's go over here. Let's go to, not that, let's go to cobble. Just need some placement blocks here. Just want to set these back a little bit, I should say. Because we're going to need a way to kind of, move the power in between this. And that is done with these energy pylons. We're going to kind of take one, throw it there. Take one, throw it there. Then they need glass on top. And they should multi-block. So we're going to do that. And that. And this thing's already effectively pretty much good to go here. There is kind of range too. You don't have to have these like directly touching. There's a certain kind of length they could be away. They shoot kind of beams of light. But I don't remember the max range at all whatsoever. I may mix it up later on for a different look. But I'm probably going to have this in here. We're going to end up with the biggest one. The biggest one is quite large. But what I'm going to do here, we're going to need a flux point. So let's do, actually we need a point first. So let's grab a point. Let's grab, is that one already configured? That one's fine. I want to be able to pump power into this thing. So I think that's the setting here. So the way you kind of change the settings on this, I believe, is you just right click on that, right? So you just right click. Pointing in, I believe, puts the power in the ball. Pointing out takes it out of the ball. But if we put a point on here, I believe, actually, maybe I have that backwards? Wait a second. Okay, now it's working. I don't know why it didn't want to work at first, but you can see it's pulling out 256K. I'm actually going to turn off the transformer limit. You can see there it's moving like 756,000 RF tick. And it's all going inside the ball here. So it's just going to fill this thing up really quickly. And it's going to drain our batteries, which is kind of my plan here. Then once the batteries are gone, I'm going to remove them because I don't want to use them anymore. I want to use this as our main focus and kind of get off of these ones here, which are not going to take very long to drain. Already pretty much gone. But anyway, let's get these out of here. They were good while they lasted, but I just want to switch to the ball because, quite frankly, it's cooler, man. And we can still use the plugs and the points to move power around. So there's really no benefit to these particular tanks because the points and the plugs can kind of do everything we need them to. But anyway, that should be that. All the power is still going in the reactor. You can see actually how much is going in there. So that's coming from the turbines. We got about 110,000 gain minus whatever we're using, right? So that's pretty cool. We don't have a battery though right now for our base, so we actually need a plug as well. So let's do that. Let's grab one of them. Already have some plugs in the system. I'm almost ready to let that one just go away. Anyway, let's go down and get it. Grab it and maybe pop that right here. And yeah, just set that one to that. We'll leave the limit on this one for now. Why is there so much going through this? I don't feel like there should be that much power. Is this looping on us? Why are you looping? Don't loop. I might come up with a different setup for that because I don't like that it's looping. Huh. Yeah, because that's silly. Why would it just automatically loop? I didn't think it normally did that. Okay, what I might end up doing is using some power cells or something as like a buffer. So when the power cell needs power, the power cell will just pull it into it. Then I'll move it from a flux plug from the power cell. Probably be the way I do it, just to keep it clean, because otherwise it's just kind of moving in a circle right now, right? So it's being pulled in the plug, and the plug's moving it back over to the point, etc., etc., and it's just going around in circles for no good reason. And okay, I think I'm going to end this one here. So as always, if you guys like this video, please hit that like button. If you really liked it, smash that subscribe button. It is always appreciated. Well, you guys all have a good one, and I'll see you guys next video. Later.